Hey, everybody, welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. How are all of you? It's so great to have you here, tuning in, watching us live with our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. It's so great to have you here. It is Sunday evening, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And we are here at our studio to present to you some great entertainment, inspiring conversations, and freestyling episodes as we do all the time. This is hearkening back to the old school way talk shows were done, with the warmth and the welcoming and the freestyle conversation with our viewers, who are our lovedies. That's right. The viewers call themselves the lovedies. They watch from literally all around the world. And they call themselves the lovedies because, again, in the summertime, I said light, love, and levity a little too fast, and out slipped Lovity. So the viewers call themselves the Lovedies. They're part of our Lovety squad. They call me Mr. Lovety. This is Lovety Hall, and our guests are always welcomed in as a Lovety as well. So show has a positive bent. We do take sort of that old school style of variety and talk shows and amazing guests and inspiring conversation, as well as conversations that are all about life and great entertainment as well, and guests from television and music and film, Broadway, Hollywood, sports, comedy, culinary arts, and inspirational people. Everybody welcome. I always say here on the Jim Masters Show live that it doesn't matter your gender, your political views, your religious views, your height, your weight, eye color, your zip code, income. Everybody is welcome to join us and have a good time with us here on our entertainment lifestyle talk show series. I do this work professionally as a television and radio presenter, host, personality, journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist in the real world. And then about a year ago, almost a year ago, coming up on the 1-year anniversary soon at the end of April, we launched the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. Again, bringing inspiring conversations, great entertainment, viewer interaction with our lovedies all around the world. They're already commenting, which is fantastic. Feel free to comment live during the show. And we always have a great time together. And that's what it is, all about being together and celebrating life and having a good time on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. So welcome, everybody. Hope you're having a good day. We were walking along the coast. We broadcast out of the greater New York area, along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston, here in the United States. And we welcome everybody in the United States, Canada, Europe, Asia, Australia, and beyond who are watching the show. We toast all of you as well. We always toast in style here on the Jim Masters Show Live. By the way, I'm Jim Masters. Good to see you. Very nice, and a pleasure to have you here. We've got an extraordinary guest, somebody that you may remember, of course, from your childhood. But then again, even beyond that, he's a prolific entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur. He's not only a producer and a director, years and years of acting, wonderful marketing expert, has his production company, a political background. I'm talking about the one and only Rodney Allen Rippy. Yes, that's a name that has carried through generations, that name Rodney Allen Rippy, because you remember him, I'm sure, for the Jack in the Box commercials. Yes, that's who I'm talking about. $6 Million Man. I mean, just the list goes on. Episodes of Policewoman and The Odd Couple, and movies, Blazing Saddles too, and so much more. And God, as well. And of course, with the incredible George Burns, who we always talk about here on our show. He is our guest today here on the Jim Master Show Live, Rodney and Rippy, which I know is really, really cool. And we're all excited about it. Here he is here. Remember? There he is with one of those great hamburgers from Jack in the Box and in blazing saddles. What a cutie, huh? The then and now photos that we all love. Did you know that? Now, I had the Lost in Space robot and other cool things. My sister had the Mrs. Beasley doll. But did you know there was a Rodney Allen Rippy doll too? Talking Rodney Rippy. Do you have yours? Yes, I tell you. And he also on Bell Records had a song, very popular song out too. And talk about all that and so much more. He's a great guy. He's live from California. First, let's do a quick hello to some of our Lovity viewers around the world. Good evening, Lovity family from Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia, Canada. Thank you very much. And of course, we welcome everybody. If you're on our YouTube channel, we would love it if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of the exciting content we have, because we do this show live 7 days a week on the Jim Master Show Live. Yesterday, we had 2 shows because we had a guest from overseas as well. EU is here. Welcome. Looking forward to this, Jim and Rodney. Thank you and welcome to the show, EU. And Kathy Short, good evening, Jim and Lovities. I hope everyone's having sunny, enjoying this sunny Sunday. It's beautiful here along the coast as well. Kathy is in Cleveland. In Holland, the Netherlands, Willie is here. Hello, my dear friends. Have a nice time with our Jim. Thank you very much. Our dear friend, Elaine Ballas is here. Is it Elaine or is it Blue Monday? And I bet she's got little Oreo with her too. Elaine, dear friend, she was on our show twice. That's right. We revealed that she was Blue Monday, too, on one of the episodes. Good to see you, Elaine. Sending a love out to the West Coast. Greetings, Jim and Lovities. Welcome Rodney Allen Rippy to the show tonight. You're a Lovity now. Yeah, I told him that he's going to be a Lovity. He said, bring it on. He loves it. Ready for another wonderful conversation in Lovity Hall. Christine in North Carolina. Amy's here. Hello, all fellow Lovities. Happy spring day. That's right. First full day of spring is today, which I think is really, really cool. Amazing conversations coming in here from our Lovity viewers. Hi, Jim and everyone. Happy Sunday. Hope you had a fantastic weekend and looking forward to a spectacular show with inspiring conversation in Lovity. Crystal is in Connecticut. Good to see you, Crystal. Anne is here. Good evening, Jim and all Lovities. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Much love to all. Anne is located in Jacksonville, Florida. We love when Anne checks in, and Anne always is so gracious with her comments, like all of you are. So it's good to see you there in the wonderful Jacksonville area there in Florida, Anne. And all these comments coming in are extraordinary. This is really wonderful. I love all this. Juanita is here from South Africa, one of our regular Lovity viewers. Hello, Jim and Lovity Squad. Good to see you, Juanita from Iowa. Renee is here. Hi, everyone from Renee. This is really, really cool. Our regular faithful and a lot of new people watching as well. In Canada, Merlin is here. Hello, Jim and all Lovities. In Iowa, good to see you, Merlin. Good to see you, Gary. Hi, Jim and Lovities. Gary is watching from Iowa, USA as well. This is fantastic. Look at all these comments coming in here. Kathleen Walker. She remembers Rodney Allen Rippy as well. Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. Looking forward to this. Absolutely. Good to see you, Renee. Thank you very much. Welcome, Rodney, to Lovity Hall. You're now a Lovity. He's all excited about all the Lovity wave that's coming his way. Avril Britton, she's watching in the United Kingdom, in Hampshire, United Kingdom. Avril, welcome to the show. It's so great to have you here. And of course, we welcome you and everybody that's commenting and everybody that's welcoming everybody here. Anne says, welcome, Rodney. Have been wishing for a big, juicy hamburger with all the trimmings since I saw your photo in the hamburger. I remember you from those commercials. Yes, he sold a lot of hamburgers for that chain. Why don't we welcome him together? He's extraordinary. He's been on so many television shows and movies. He's had a wonderful, prolific career beyond. He's stayed connected. He's stayed in the industry, but he's also carved out a wonderful path. He comes from a loving family, a wonderful familial atmosphere. He and I were comparing. We're both very blessed people to come from loving, warm, supportive families. And I think that makes a big difference in your life. That's why Rodney's still around. He's still doing his thing. And people respect him and they love his work. So let's welcome him. That's right. Yes, you're going to get hungry. I'm sure you're going to want a hamburger. but so much more. Here's Rodney Allen Rippy. Rodney, how are you, my friend?
Man, wow, what a following you have. It's amazing. Hey, hello to all the lovelies out there. It's good to be on with you, man.
Oh, it is my pleasure, Rodney. How are you? I like your little studio atmosphere. It's cool. You got the lighting and everything behind you.
I got everything, hey, I'm prepping. I'm getting ready to roll out my little podcast show and little entertainment and got some cool stuff coming. But wow, man, it's been amazing. The years and the people and the great memories and it just keeps getting better. Just keeps getting better.
Yeah, I'm sure. Absolutely. Because, you stay connected and you roll with it, which I think is really, really important, my friend. And just more levity coming in here. Kathy Short in Cleveland says, hello, Rodney. Nice to have you on the show. And Karen in Nova Scotia. Welcome, Rodney, our newest levity. You're getting all kinds of smiles. Well, actually, not smiles. These are hamburger emojis from Willie in the Netherlands and Holland watching. You have a picture, don't you, right there you wanted to show us of you?
Yo, here you go. How you like that? How you like that, everybody? That is one of the original shots right there from Jack in the Box. Me and the burger. That was it from back in the day from Jack in the Box. There you go for all you burger
Amazing.
people there.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania says, hey, Rodney. And Gary in Iowa says, welcome, Lovety Rodney. Crystal in Connecticut says, hi, Rodney. Welcome to Lovety Hall. And Kathleen Walker in New York City says, hi, Rodney. Welcome to our Lovety family. EU, hello from Eveline in Los Angeles. Wonderful. Yeah, nice to have her here as well. And nice. That hamburger looks super good. Juanita in South Africa says, welcome to the show, Rodney. She's up. It's very late in South Africa where she is. And Renee says, welcome, Rodney from Iowa. And Willie says, welcome, Rodney, to Jim Masters' show. Karen says she had the Mrs. Beasley doll from Family Affair. All these dolls and all this.
What?
Yeah.
Do you have one of these?
Oh, you actually have the doll there?
Yes, this is my little guy. This is the Rodney Allen Rippy doll that you had shown earlier. And it was created by Mattel Toy. And it was a great project called Operation Bootstrap that brought this doll to being. And actually, it had a voice box in it, and you would pull a cord that would say all these wonderful little things. And so I'm just very blessed. This was part of the kind of like the spinoff of the Jack in the Box commercial. And of course, the title line is Take Life a Little Easier, which Lord knows we all really need to do. This whole world needs to take life a little easier. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's great shows like, your show here, Jim, that's spreading the love and having good times, man.
I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. And that's a cool doll. I love it. Let's go back in time a little bit. I mentioned that, you come from great stock, a wonderful family, loving, supportive, pointing you in the right directions, you and your siblings as well. I know you're originally from Long Beach, California, but you have some pretty thick and significant East Coast and Midwest roots with your parents from North Carolina and from Ohio.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about some of those early beginnings where they were there in the Midwest and East Coast, and they said, why don't we go out to the West Coast and check things out and sort of settle there in the Los Angeles area. And then all of a sudden, some of these things start to happen for you and for the family.
Wow. Yeah. Well, it started. The migration of my dear dad, who I love very, very much, he's 60. No, I'm sorry, 70. Dad is 76 years old. 76 years old.
Congratulations. Best of health to him.
It doing just fantastic, and back in North Carolina. And just, he made his trek back in the day, him and two of his best friends. It was a gentleman by the name of James McMurray and another guy named Bay Hall. They decided that they were going to pack up their families. I wasn't here yet, but they decided that they were going to make the trek to California, and they did. And so, I've heard this story. My dad said when he got here, he had like $20 in his pocket. All the guys, it was like three families. Some, everybody had kids. I wasn't here yet, but my dad got here and literally said, "Hey, you go this way, you go that way, and I'm going this way." And he told his friends, come back with either a house or a job. And
Yeah.
these guys literally on foot went out and came back later in the afternoon, left the ladies and the kids in the car, and came back. And one guy had a place, and another guy had a job, and another guy didn't have anything, but they all pulled together. And within a matter of months, they were all settled in working jobs. And, and back in that time, I believe it's the 50s,
Yeah.
if a man said, "Hey, I want to work," he could get a job, he could go to work. Well, fast forward, they eventually ended up landing in Long Beach, California. And that's pretty much where I came in. Ta-da! So
Yeah.
so I actually came on the scene. And so but I'm the baby of the family because I have a brother, Kenneth Wayne, who's older than me, and my sister Beverly Lee, who's oldest. And then so the whole family, and then of course there are tons and tons of relatives back in the North Carolina and Ohio area, which I love very much. And it was just a thing that when mom and dad made that decision to come to California, they were, "Hey, go west, young man. There's work out there." And so that's what they did. And back in, wow, early 1972, it was just a day I was a little kid. I'm 3 years old, and I'm sitting in the living room, and I'm watching the Little Rascals, and I'm laughing hysterically. And so my mom comes in and she goes, "Rodney, what is so funny?" And I point at the TV. And my mom's like, "Oh, so you're laughing at buckwheat?" And I'm like, "Yes, I'm laughing at buckwheat." And she's like, "Well, buckwheat's been around a long time, Rodney." I'm like, "No, mama, buckwheat's little like me." And she's like, "No, no, no, Rodney, I used to watch buckwheat when I was a little kid." And I was like, I'm completely like, "Huh, I don't get it." So mom starts telling me about buckwheat and how long he's been on television. But then she stopped and she was like, "Well, wait a minute. What, you think you could do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." And she's like, "No, you think you could be on TV?" I'm like, so my mom was like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute. You wouldn't be afraid of the cameras and the lights and all those people?" So my mom was like, "Okay." So she dries her hands off and she was washing dishes or something. So she goes over, picks up the yellow pages and starts rotary dialing. I remind you, this is 1972. And in the yellow pages, there used to be agents, talent agents. And so my mom starts calling. So it's one afternoon and she's like, "Hi, I have my son and he's really cute. And I think he's got a great personality. What do I need to do to get him in television?" So before you know it, through some trial and error, my mom had me, my brother, Kenneth Wayne, my sister, Beverly Lee. We were all signed up with one of the top talent agents in LA. Her name was Dorothy Day Otis. And so she owned a talent agency, DDO. And my sister, she had she was the first one of the family that went out and landed a commercial. So she did a commercial for Banquet's Fried Chicken.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then my brother, he had a couple auditions. And I was the baby of the bunch. And I was pretty bummed out. And I was like, "Man, when am I going to get a chance?" And my mom was like, "Hang in there. Something will come through." And then one day the phone rings and it was the audition for Jack in the Box. And
Mm.
it was a real heavy audition. I mean, literally, Jack in the Box was looking for a mascot. They were looking for a spokesman. They didn't know if it was a boy or girl, white, black. They didn't care. They needed something. They needed something to really get the people going. And so my agent says, "Hey, my mom was Flossie." And so she said, "Flossie, take Rodney in. This is a big audition. It's a cattle call. There's 100 kids called in." And sure enough, we walk in, and this is my very first audition.
Mm.
No training, no acting classes, cold turkey, walk in. And my mom is like, "Wow, look at all these kids." And I mean, they're cute kids. And the girls got ribbons in their hair, and little boys with bow ties and glasses, and you
Yeah.
name it. My
They were
mom,
all ready to go. Yeah.
they're ready to go. I mean, they're just cute kids in their own right. Shout out to them. And my mom is like, wow, and here I am, and mom loves me very much, but she's like, Rodney, wow, your first audition, and you have to go up against these many kids. And my mom, I mean, I could see the pressure on her. And I'm like, looking at my mom, I'm like, it's going to be all right, mom. And she's like, wow, I don't know about this. And so we go in, and for you people who audition, you kind of have to sign in. So you have to sign your name in, and you get on the list. And as casting calls, they call one in. They just go down the list and they bring you in. And so while I was waiting, I was like 40 something on the list, and I'm sitting there waiting. And my mom was she was very incredible. And so she's like, I smell something. She goes, Rodney, I smell food. She goes, I think they're going to give you food. And I'm like, she goes, can you smell it? And I'm like, yeah, I do smell it. And she goes, and my mom is like, she's like my coach. I mean, she is like right there. And she's like, okay, remember the manners I taught you. Don't talk with your mouth full. Keep your elbows off the table. And I'm like, okay, mom. And I'm going through this whole checkoff list of what not to do.
Right.
And she's like, but just have fun and don't worry about it. And so soon enough, they called me. And my mom walks me to the door, literally, and she squats down and looks at me on one knee. She gets down on one knee and looks at me, and she says, I can't go in. She goes, I can't go any further than this. She goes, you're going to have to do this. I remind you, I'm 3.5 years old. And my mom is like, just remember what I told you. Don't talk with your mouth full. She gives me a kiss on the cheek, and the lady is there, and she opens the door, and I walk in, and my mom is like, oh my God. I remember seeing the door shut, and my mom is like right outside the door.
Yeah.
My mom is stressing,
Yeah.
And so I walk in, and literally there was a table set up, and there was a guy over here. As soon as you walk in the door, he's got like a little 8mm camera, not the big professional camera,
the 8mm,
8mm audition camera. But down in this room was a lady, and she has like this grill, and she's in there with this electric grill, and she's grilling up jumbo jacks. And I'm like, Mama was right.
This
I'm gonna get a burger. So I'm all psyched. So I'm sitting here, I'm watching her cook, and I'm like, nah, she's not gonna give me a burger. I'm not gonna get one of these big old burgers. Sure enough, here she comes with a burger on a plate, and blah blah. She puts it down right in front of me, and I'm like, this is gonna be good. But my mom had said also one other note. She said, whatever they put in front of you, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it until they tell you. And I remember her saying that, and I see this big, beautiful, juicy hamburger in front of me, and I'm like, boy, do I want to attack this thing. But, most kids, I mean, honestly, the average kid would just dive in, but thank God that I had a mom that kind of said, careful, don't do this, keep your elbows off the table. So I'm sitting here like a general, just, okay, I can handle it. I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. And the guy, he was stalling around. I guess he was just testing me to see if I was going to dive on the burger. But needless to say, I didn't. So then the commercial starts. And you hear this guy, if you go to YouTube right now, or not now, because I don't want to lose you on the show. But after the show, you can go to YouTube and type in Rodney Allen Rippy and put Jumbo Jack. You will actually see the very first commercial, which was my audition. Because what happened next was just picture perfect. So the guy says, hey, haven't I seen you on TV before? And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, what's your name? And I said, Rodney. Rodney what? Rodney Allen Rippy. What's that in front of you? The Jumbo Jack from Jack in the Box. And he says, do you think you could get a bite out of it? And I said, it's too big to eat. He said, well, pick it up and take a bite. And when he said that, I was like, that was my green light. The guy told me to take a bite. And I was thinking, well, Rodney, you only might get one bite. So take a big bite. And I did. So I take a killer bite out of this burger. And he said, tell me how you like it. And I remember my mom said, "Don't talk with your mouth full." And I said, "I can't talk, my mouth's full." And he just died laughing. And he says, "That's it. That's it. You're done. You can go." And so he is like literally rolling off the couch laughing. And I'm chewing, going out the door. And I open the door, and my mom is right outside the door and sees me with a mouthful of food, still chewing. And she's like, and she hears this guy laugh. She literally sees this guy roll off the couch laughing. And my mom was like, "Oh, my poor baby, let's get out of here." My mom grabs me by the hand. She goes, "Let's go, Rodney, let's go." And we go out the door, boom, out the back door, round the corner. And my mom is like, "Oh my God, what happened? Why was that man laughing at you?" And I'm still chewing. She goes, "Will you stop chewing? Why? Oh my God, Rodney, what happened?" I was like, "Mom, he asked me my name. He told me to take a bite of the burger. I took a bite of the burger." And he started laughing. And I'm like, and my mom was like, "He laughed at you." And she goes, "Oh God, let's go, Rodney." So my mom thought like I had totally bombed. And my mom felt bad. I'm her baby. And so all the way from LA back to Long Beach, my mom's driving. I'm sitting in the back seat. And my mom keeps looking up at me in the rearview mirror. And she keeps asking me, "Was it a good laugh, Rodney, or a bad laugh?" I said, "Mama, I don't know. He just laughed at me." And my mom was like, "Okay, Rodney." So mom's driving. So we get home and I'm like, "Can I go play?" And she's like, "Yeah, Rodney, go play." So I'm outside being a normal 3-year-old, having a
Yeah.
blast. And the phone rings and it's my agent. And it's Dorothy later that afternoon. And she says, "They love Rodney. Take him back. He's got a call back. They're cutting the field in half. Rodney goes in number one." And my mom was like, "What?" They laughed him out of the place. They said, Dorothy said, "Take him back. Whatever he did, they love him. Take
They
him back."
loved it. Yeah.
So I go back the next day, and then I go in. They got another burger for me. There's more people standing around the cafe. I don't know who these people were. And they're like, "Hey, Rodney, come on in." And I'm like, "Okay." And "Hey, Rodney, we got another burger for you. Look at that." And I'm like, "For me?" They were like, "That's for you." I'm like, "Oh man, here we go again." I dive into the burger. They just cracked up laughing. They were like, "Get Miss Rippy in here."
Yeah.
So
This is,
they
yeah.
they end up calling my mom in, and they said, "He's our guy."
Mm.
And my mom's like, because when my mom came in this time, she thought like I had just went crazy in there. She's like, "Why did they come get me?" So turns out my mom comes in, and the guy was like, "He's our guy." And my
Mm.
mom's like, "Wait a minute. What about all these other people out there?" They're like, "Oh, don't worry about them, Miss Rippy. We'll take care of them."
This
And
is it.
this guy literally goes to the door, opens the door, and says, "Hey, everybody, thanks for coming in. We're so sorry. We're closing casting now."
Mm.
And boom, shuts the door. And my mom goes, "Wait a minute, that's not fair." "Miss Rippy, don't worry about it. We got our guy." And so the rest is history. So from the Jack in the Box campaign, there was a 14-year run with Jack in the Box, a whole
Unbelievable.
series of commercials.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
when one of the songs was "Take Life a Little Easier." So I had a song that actually went with a commercial.
You did, which was amazing. I mean, I can't believe, I know they were doing that a lot with the child stars. There were the lunch boxes and the T-shirts and the
Mhm.
records and all. That must have been really incredible for you to have that experience, huh? All of a
Yeah, and
sudden.
matter of fact, you see that T-shirt?
Yeah.
That was a actual Rodney Allen Rippy T-shirt that was a promotion item at Jack in the Box. And you will
That's
never
right.
believe, I end up funny story I have, I'll skip fast forward years later. I'm cruising down Sunset, and I'm going I'm actually going eastbound on Sunset near Beverly Hills. Going westbound into Beverly Hills, I see this beautiful black Mercedes go by. And who was driving it? Lenny Kravitz. And I'm like, "Oh my God, I just passed up Lenny Kravitz." So me crazy, I bust a
Yeah.
U-turn because I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Sure.
You know,
Absolutely.
"Are you gonna go my way?" I'm like, "That's my man, Lenny Kravitz." And so I'm jockeying, trying to get next to him, and I literally stop at a light, window to window, and I roll my window down on the passenger side, and he had his window crack, and I go, "Lenny, And he goes to look, and he was like, darn, I shouldn't have looked. I go, it's okay, man. Look over. And he was fighting it, and he looks over, and I go, hey, man, it's Rodney Allen Rippy. Man, I'm a huge fan. And he rolls his window down. He goes, oh, my God, it is Rodney Allen Rippy. I go, pull over for a second. So Lenny Kravitz pulls over on Sunset.
For you, right?
I jump out. He's sitting in a black Mercedes. His windows are dark tint, and his windows cracked. And I walk in and look down. I go, what's up, Lenny? He goes, and he was on his phone. And he goes, whoever he was talking to, he goes, you never will guess who's standing at my window. I'm on Sunset. And the guy on the phone was on speaker. Go, who is it? He goes, Rodney Allen Rippy.
Yeah.
And the person said, get out of here. Why would Rodney Allen Rippy pull you over? He goes, I swear to you, Rodney Allen Rippy just pulled. He goes, I got to go. So boop, he cuts him off. He goes, what's happening? So we start talking. And he goes, you know what? When I was a kid, man, I had your T-shirt. And I was like, and I'm like, Lenny Kravitz wore my T-shirt. I'm like, it doesn't get any better than that
T-shirt.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, needless to say,
incredible. Yeah.
I have had just the best of experiences, literally.
Absolutely. Well, we have a treat for the audience. This one you have, there's a young girl that's with you too in this quick clip. We'll take a look at it and then we'll chat about it right after. It's one of the Jack in the Box commercials you may remember well, everybody. Here it is, the one and only Rodney Allen Rippy.
Is that Jumbo Jack? Yeah, from Jack in the Box. Here's the bun. Here's the meat patty. Here's the tomato. Here's the onion ring. Here's the pickle. Here's the lettuce. And Jumbo Jack. Can I have a bite, Rodney? Sure, I'll help you. Have a bite. Well, how you like Jumbo Jack? Terrific, Rodney.
I mean, how could you beat that? I mean, how could you beat that? I mean,
no,
cute as a button. And
that sweet little girl actually won the sweepstakes, the Being a Commercial with Rodney Allen Rippy sweepstakes. That was the name of it. And that was a huge Jack in the Box promotion. And she was from Escondido, California, and she actually won. You could go to Jack in the Box. Many of you fans out there who are in Southern California around, if you remember, they had these little ballot boxes and you just have to fill it out and drop your name in. And she got pulled. And I remember the day that they pulled her name, we hopped in a limo and went to her house from LA to Escondido. And I literally knocked on her door with a camera crew. And it's like, hey, you won. And this little girl opens the door and was like, wham, and slams the door in my face. All of this. Yeah, she freaked out. She slammed the door in my face. And so then we had a ding dong, knock. And the parents come to the door. And sure enough, they were like, your daughter won. So she actually won the commercial.
Wow. It seemed like she was good. You know, she played it up right with you.
She was a doll. And the thing about the Jack in the Box spots that made it stick was, my commercials were completely natural. They were completely ad-lib. They were not written. And it got to the point that they felt comfortable enough to just freewheel and just let me. So they would throw stuff at me and they would just run film and they just thought it was great. And they put their commercials together that way.
Yeah. See, that's terrific. They let you be a kid. They let you stay as a kid, which I think is awesome. Because a lot of times they try to have the kid molded into something and the kid, isn't able to grasp it as quickly. And that's really, really cool. And you're great. And you're just, warm and natural, and kids could relate as much as the parents could and the grandparents who would take the kids then to the restaurant. The kids, felt like you were one of them, representing them, which I think was a cool thing about it because it was so natural. You mentioned having the opportunity to have a record too, Take Life a Little Easier. What was that like? All of a sudden, here you are, and there's this record deal, Bell Records, a division of Columbia. and it's a cute song. I think you can hear it on your site or YouTube or something. But it's a really cute song, and it's a just got that warm, fun, almost like that Candyman, Sammy Davis sort of feel, joviality
Yeah.
to it. What
Mhm.
was it like when all of a sudden now you're in the recording studio and you're recording a record?
Well, matter of fact, I actually have one.
You've got it.
One of my dear fans from New York found one still in plastic. This thing is still in plastic. I mean, literally. And this was my album. And I actually had an opportunity. Well, again, that was a spinoff from the Jack in the Box commercial, because he did a song called Take. I'll meet people till this very day, and they'll go, "Take life a little easier," and they just crack up laughing when they figure out it's me, or if they know it's me. And so
I mean, there was
that was
musicians and you had backup singers. This was a full Monty.
yes, oh yeah, it was a huge. I mean, this thing had like Burt Bacharach involved with it.
Yes.
I mean, these are legends in music industry.
Yes.
And matter of fact, one of the session players on my album was Billy Preston.
Wow.
So Billy Preston, right? Nothing from nothing leaves nothing.
Yeah.
So huge. I mean, and who knew? I mean, who knew that these were the type of things that would happen? I had no clue. And I mean, and from there, it started out with the Jack in the Box commercial. From there, it went to the Harlem Globetrotters popcorn machine. There we go. The Harlem Globetrotters.
That's right.
Machine. And so this was a Saturday morning show that had me and all of the Harlem Globetrotters. Here's a promo.
Could you imagine that?
Here's a promo image for you. Me and the Harlem Globetrotters. Here we go. I'll get a little closer for you. There you go. The Harlem Globetrotters popcorn machine. It was a Saturday morning special, and it was me and the Harlem Globetrotters. And right now, with everything that's happening in education, especially with young people, I mean, we are actually, me and a group, because I'm involved in education myself. I mean, I have friends and colleagues who are teachers, and everybody's trying to figure out, how do we keep the young people engaged at an early age, all the way up into high school. And so I'm part of a group called the Hidden Pioneers, and so we just did this huge summit, a STEM summit, where we're trying to get kids involved and get kids excited about the sciences and math and technology and robotics. And so all of these things, that's probably a little later in the conversation, but that's how, when you look at the Harlem Globetrotters popcorn machine, it was a Saturday morning show, and it was always about ethics. And so the fun part of it was, I was kind of like the brains of the bunch, and I was always trying to tell the guys, no, we can't do that. We got to do this. And they would go, oh, okay. And so all the audience was full of kids, and it was just a wonderful television show that ran for like 4 years. It was a great run.
Isn't that incredible? Hidden Pioneers is watching too. Rodney rocks. He's the best. Hidden Pioneers.
Hey,
Good to see you
shout out.
guys. Yeah.
Yep. And the gentleman that one of the Hidden Pioneers, remember the movie Hidden Figures?
Yeah.
Big film?
Right.
Actually, the lady who helped us get to the moon, Katherine Johnson, was his cousin.
Wow.
So we're having so much. I mean, things are hot. I mean, things are literally cooking. You had mentioned earlier the good old Odd Couple. There you go. That is my episode of the Odd Couple. There you go.
You owned the building that Felix and Oscar lived in.
Exactly.
And we actually have a tiny little clip of that for our audience. Here is Rodney Allen Rippy on The Odd Couple. And I think the gentleman, the actor that is lifting you up and holding you, is that Keenan Wynn? Is that who that actor was? 'Cause I
He
think,
was a big character actor.
yeah.
Oh
Was it
gosh,
Keenan Wynn? I think he
I'm,
played the
I think
he was in Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
yes,
He was
yes, yes, yes.
the winter
Huge character
monster.
actor. Look at
Yeah.
his face, people. Who
Yes.
remember him? You can't forget him. You can't forget him. Yes, huge character actor. Huge character
Yeah.
actor.
Here's that clip, gang.
All right, but if you stand with them, you stand in the cold.
This is an impasse. It's a case of an irresistible force meeting an immovable object. It would take the wisdom of Solomon to solve this.
Hold it! I solved the case.
Look, he showed up just like the cavalry. Yeah, you look at that bugle.
I went to every conglomerate, every big holding company, and I finally tracked down the owner of this building. And it's a big TV star. I better pay the chance. Meet Rodney Allen Rippy.
I am Mr. Rippy's attorney. Which one of you is Lovelace?
I am.
Yes, well, Mr. Rippy has something to say to you.
You're fired.
You'll get your severance pay in the mail. Please be off the premises by noon tomorrow.
What am I going to tell the plants? They always know when I'm lying.
Mr. Rippy would like you to know that had he been aware of the situation sooner, he would have come into it sooner. Now, you're all going to get your doors back. There will be no rent increase, and you'll have free hamburgers for a month.
You get in the kitchen, free cookies and milk, honey. Hey!
How does a small child like this come to own a big building?
Tax shelter.
I think we've finished our business here.
Maybe we should turn this place into a condominium.
Right triumphs over might after all. Come on, let's have some milk and cookies.
No. Let's take a walk around the block. I want to hear what happened in Baltimore with the hickey and everything.
I was sitting in the car. This girl came up to join us. She had the
Get out of here!
Yep.
Classic episode of that beloved series. What was it like being on set? Gary Marshall there directing, producing, Tony Bell, Jack Klugman. I mean, everybody around you.
Yeah. Legends. I mean, I had the pleasure of, like I said, working with some of the biggest names in entertainment. And I knew kind of going in, I mean, that because I remember seeing these people on TV. I mean, I was a little boy and I was kind of like a TV junkie, and I watched this and I was like, wow. And so when you get an opportunity to work with them, it hits you in the heart. And my mom always impressed upon me that, Rodney, this is a huge opportunity. A lot of people are counting on you. Just have fun. And it never was a thing that it was a push, because honestly, at one point, my mom sat me and my brother and my sister down and said, hey, look, how do you guys like it? You know, my mom was very real. And she talked to my brother and sister and said, how do you like it? And they were like, Mom, we really don't like it. Let Rodney do it. And my mom was like, wait a minute, you don't want to try? And they were like, yeah, we're not really, it's not really our thing. But for me, it was something that kind of stuck with me. I enjoyed it. And for me, literally as a little boy, my mom would have these conversations with me and would look me right in the eye. And she says, Rodney, you have a job. You have a job to do. She goes, you know how your dad goes out the door and goes to work early in the morning? I'm like, yeah. She goes, you got a job. And she goes, don't worry about these lights. Don't worry about the camera people. Just do your job, baby. That's all you got to do. And I was like, cool, I got it. And that was our communication. My mom was always there for me and very, very supportive. And a lot of times I've been asked, you know, how was it? Was your mother a stage mother? I was like, my mom didn't care. Literally, my mom told me, Rodney, and when this is no longer fun for you, we don't have to do it anymore. I don't have to be driving to LA for this and burning up a bunch of gas. Whenever you're tired, just let me know. So it was, I mean, I had the choice to take my own destiny in my own hands because my mom wanted me to be her little baby. She wanted me to be her little son. And that was it. It wasn't anything like she didn't see the cash cow mentality. It was none of that stuff. And mom said, this is for your future. And so I was very blessed to have worked with greats such as da 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 da. How you like that? You know, that is the one and only Wilt
Wow.
Chamberlain. That's right. So I had the pleasure of meeting Wilt, and and it was really funny. I'm at an event, and there was a lady there, and she called me over, and she said, "I want to tell you something." And I was like, "Yeah." And she whispered in my ear, and she said, "I'm Wilt Chamberlain's sister." And I was like, "Wow!" And she was like, "Shh." She goes, "Give me your address. I'm going to send you something." And sure enough, she ended up sending me these two lovely photos. And that's me and Wilt. And I look like a little puppet on his knee, but the type of
Like a ventriloquist doll or something, right? Like a
yeah,
mini
exactly.
him. Yeah.
Yeah. But and from that point, it just
That's
and I did all the great shows from $6 Million Man, Police Story, Dr. Well BMD, The Odd Couple. Wow. I mean, Laugh In. I was actually on Laugh In with all of the biggest and the best comedians of the world. I mean, at that time.
Sock it to me.
There you go. And just being able to be a part of that. Did the Johnny Carson show,
What was that
Mike
like?
Douglas, Dinah Shore,
All the ones we
did
talk about, yeah.
Merv Griffin, did the
What was
Merv
that
Griffin.
like? To be on these shows with these legends, and were you pinching yourself? Do you appreciate it more now, realizing what it was, or were you sort of aware of what was happening then? I know you were younger, and it's
Believe
just all glitz, and like, wow, this is
No,
incredible. Did you have an idea?
honestly, I knew how big it was because my mom, it looked big. I mean, you couldn't, it didn't get no bigger than, the Johnny Carson show. A matter of fact, I'll tell you this story. When we got the call that I was going to go on and do the Johnny Carson show, every night after dinner, my dad would watch Johnny Carson. That was his favorite show.
Yeah.
And when the call came in from my agent, from Dorothy, and said, "Hey, the Carson show wants Rodney to go on. Johnny wants to meet Rodney." My dad said, "I'm going to that.
Yeah.
I'm going. I'm definitely going." And my dad normally was real laid back. It was mostly my mom handling the auditions and running me around different places, but it was really, really incredible. And that was when I knew. I'm like, if Pop gets excited, I'm excited. And so, but it was always a family thing because, when I traveled, one of the things that I did a lot of times when I would travel, and literally when I performed my album, I went all the way over to London and performed. And the neat thing about it was everywhere, and being a little kid, people wanted to give me things. So whenever they gave me something, I would be like, "Well, can I get two more?" And they were like, "Three?" I'm like, "Yeah, because I got my brother and sister back home." And so whenever I would travel, I would always bring home three of whatever I got. So whatever I got, my brother and sister got hooked up. And so my agent would go before me and say, "Hey, listen, are you planning to give Rodney any type of trinket, a type of toy, stuffed animal, anything?" And they were like, "Yeah, we were thinking about that." They said, "Give him three because he's got a brother and sister back home. He's got to take something back home too." So it was just that I always had support from my family. It was never a competition thing. It was never any type of jealousy. And I had my dad's love and mom and brother and sister and relatives and cousins back home. So it was a thing that I appreciated it. I knew that at 3.5 years old, I had some weight on my shoulders. And my mom did not mind telling me so. And she's like, Rodney, a lot of people are counting on you. And I was like, wow. I'm like, really? And she's like, yeah, but you're doing great, baby. Don't worry about anything. And so I was like, okay, I'm cool. And so that's how I managed. I really did manage it all.
And were you going to school, balancing school with all of this at the same time?
Well, when you're an actor and you are at a certain age, you have to go, Screen Actors Guild, and it's the state of California. You have to go to a tutor, so you cannot miss. So whenever I was working and traveling, my teachers would give me my homework assignment that got relayed to the tutor on the set. I had to do homework, so I would have to shoot a show and do my homework. So a lot of people think that, oh, these kids, they just live the life of Riley. It's a lot of doggone work. You're working hard, and you still have to produce your homework and stuff like that. And so
grades and
and you have to keep your grades above a certain level, because if your grades become, below a certain level, they won't renew your work permit. So that you're toast. So my mom was always like, baby, hit them books. And so I always hit the books. And we traveled, and like I said, once the Harlem Globetrotters series got
unbelievable,
and all the other show appearances and products and merchandising and personal appearances and ribbon cuttings and things like that, it never stopped.
And then you got a chance to be with Michael Jackson and Donny Osmond during the awards ceremony. And I just watched the clip again. I think it's on YouTube. And I forget the kid's name that's in the white tux. Do you remember?
Ricky. That's my friend, Ricky Siegel.
That's right.
That's Ricky Siegel. Yep.
That's right.
And the funny story about that picture is, look at the picture really close.
Yeah.
Ricky looks like a miniature Donnie. I look like a miniature Michael.
Right.
So now that you got this image locked in your head, that was the genius of goodness gracious, from American oh gosh, I forgot his name.
Dick Clark.
Dick Clark.
Oh, the one and only Dick Clark. Yeah. American Bandstand and Dick Clark Productions. Yeah.
Exactly. When me and my mom were walking in the red carpet, this was the very first American Music Awards, and Dick Clark was standing on the red carpet, handshaking all the guests coming in, literally personally handshaking everybody.
Yeah.
And when he saw me, he goes, "Hey, Rodney, you made it." And he's like, "Oh my goodness, you look like a miniature Michael Jackson. I'll be right back." And he tears off. And apparently Ricky had came in and he had that same type of epiphany, thinking, gosh, he looks like a miniature Donnie. So he runs off and tells the production, when Michael and Donnie go out to read the nominees, have them take Rodney and Ricky with them. And the rest, and now that was another, history making moment.
And it became even more so because of the way you handled it when the envelope was there and you had to open the envelope and announce who the winner was. And there were some amazing acts and, competition as far as these amazing groups and bands and singers. And then you open up the card. It's so hilarious and so authentic. And you were trying to figure out, what does that say? And then you show it to Ricky, and Ricky's, I don't know. And then you're like, I don't know. And then Donnie isn't really saying it because you were to say it. And then Ricky still couldn't do it. And you just say, here's the winner. And you hold it up. It's the Carpenters.
Exactly. And the funny thing was,
you had that whole audience. They were like, it was unbelievable, the laughter.
Yeah. Well,
it was real.
Dick did not know that it was his idea, like, hey, have Rodney read the nominee.
Yeah.
But I was too little. I couldn't
Right.
read the
Read this
carpenter.
Carpenters.
That's a huge word for a little guy like me. And I was like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
And I had the whole world, I literally had the whole world watching me. And I was like, oh Lord, why did I have to choke now? Why did I have to get this word, you know?
But it turned out to be like one of those classic television moments.
Yes.
With just, there it is, Carpenters. And then Donnie said Carpenters. And then, and then Paul Williams comes up.
Yeah.
And then he's talking, and he follows up after, and 'cause he wrote a lot of the songs for them. It was just really, that was just one of those classic moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it like for you to be standing there with Michael Jackson and Donny Osmond, who at that time, and of course, still beloved, both of them, but really at a pinnacle of their careers? They're on television shows and the Jackson 5 and Donnie Marie and all of it.
Yeah.
What was it like for you? Here you are on stage with that group.
Well, those two were the top of entertainment at that exact moment, literally. And the funny thing was, I was sitting on the second row, on the very front row, in the front rows, the seats in front of me. But I'm sitting there, and on the back of the seat was a piece of like gaffer's tape. And with a Sharpie, it had Michael Jackson. And I'm sitting there with my mom. The show is about to begin. And I look over and I'm like, Mama, look, it says Michael Jackson on the back of the seat, and I'm this little kid at that age. And so Mom goes, Rodney, that's probably where they're going to put Michael. And I freak out. Yeah. Mom's like, calm down, cool it. I'm like, is Michael going to sit there? And she goes, Rodney, probably, how they're doing production stuff. So I'm like, wow. So sure enough, they cue the music, the show starts. No Michael, no Donnie. I'm like, maybe he's not going to come. I don't know where he was. So when the first commercial break hits, he comes and sits down. I'm about to pass out, literally, because Michael Jackson is sitting right in front of me. And I'm like, Mom. And she's like, say hello to him. So this little guy reaches up and I'm like, ding, ding, ding. And I tap him on the shoulder. And Michael turns around and I'm like, you're Michael Jackson. And he goes, and you're Rodney Allen Rippy. And I'm like, I'm thinking like, oh my God, you know me. He goes, everybody knows you. And I'm like, can we be friends? And he's like, sure. He said, give me your number. I'll call you. And I'm thinking like, oh, this is incredible. So my mom gives me a piece of paper and my little chicken scratch. And my mom's like, Rodney, let me write the number down. And she gives it to me and I give it to Michael and he sticks it in his jacket pocket and he goes, I'll call you. And I go, when are you going to call me? He goes, I'll call you on Saturday. And I said, okay. And literally that was, we taped the thing. And then literally that next Saturday, I'm playing, I'm outside messing around. Dad's in the garage fooling around. Phone rings. I remind you, this was before call waiting and the internet and all this other crazy stuff. And phone rings and my mom picks up the phone and she's all, hello? Yes, this is the Rippy residence. You want to speak to who? You want to speak to Rodney? And my mom is like tripping, like, why would somebody call wanting to talk to Rodney? And my mom's like, you want to talk to Rodney? And she's like, yeah. And it was like, who's calling? And I just happened to be walking through the kitchen and my mom goes, this is who? Michael who? Michael Jackson. Oh, hi, Michael. How you doing? And everybody freezes. And it was like, oh, hold on. Let me get you Rodney. And she passes the phone to me and I'm like holding this phone. I'm like, hey, Michael, how you doing? And we actually ended up talking and Michael would call me every Saturday and talk to me. And it was really, really like just mentor stuff. And Michael would literally just say, hey man, how you doing? What did you do this week? Did you sign any autographs? And Michael would always give me, and a lot of times, and again, there's all kinds of crazy hysteria, crazy stuff that people have said. I will tell you, Michael Jackson was indeed the king of pop. He was the greatest entertainer of all time. And for me, he was somebody who gave me diamonds. He gave me advice, and he said, "Hey, Rodney, whenever you go out, always dress sharp. You never know who you're going to meet, and never turn down an autograph. Make sure you take care of your fans." That was the advice given to me by the king of pop. And so, over the years, and literally he would call me he would call me on Saturdays. And then at that time, he hit his hit album Off the Wall. And when he did Off the Wall, he went into superstar status and was traveling the world. And he took off like a rocket. How you going to hold on to a rocket? You're not. So he was gone. And at that point, I'd never talked to him after that, because he just went beyond beyond the universe. So, but the thing was, he left me with a lot of great advice, and everybody that I've met, and from Lee Majors and so many other people, it was always just that amazing connection.
That is incredible. You also had an opportunity to meet several people that are a famous Mac Davis.
Yep.
On the Mac Davis show.
Yes, sir.
Oh boy.
Yep. So
it's
many
incredible.
people.
All of the hit shows of the time. Absolutely. And also had an opportunity to, and I know this is near and dear to your heart, Sammy Davis Jr. too.
I got something for you, my friend. I have something for you that is going to knock your socks off. Okay. This is from my private collection. And of course, for the gym masters and all the lovedies out there, I've got.
And you're a lovedy too. How does it feel to be a lovedy?
Hey, I'm a lovedy, so it's okay. I can share these things with you.
I tell everybody there's Oscars, Tellys, Emmys, Grammys, Tonys, but when you're a lovedy on the Jim Master Show live, it's quite amazing, isn't it? Your feet tingling.
There you go. I feel I'm waiting for my lovedy award to arrive in the mail. So
that's it. But I will hand deliver it.
How you like that? Wow. That is actually me and the man himself. That's right, Sammy Davis Jr. And we did a dance number together. And Sammy, believe it or not, that night when we did this thing, and this actually came on the Weekly Reader. Remember when you were in school, the Weekly Reader? That was a little
to have that
for kids. And so, I mean, that's another tie-in that, we really hope to get cranking. But that night that I worked with Sammy actually had a cold. And so we were doing this little soft shoe, this little two-step deal together. And so after we finished the segment, Sammy was like, he's coughing and he's sick. And he's like, "Little man," he goes, "I've got to go." He goes, "I have a terrible cold." And he goes, "But it was great working with you." And Sammy looked at me and he goes, "You know what? You remind me of myself when I was your age." And he patted me on the head. And he walks away and he's coughing and he leaves the set. And I tell my mom, I go, "Mom," I go, "Sammy was sick." And my mom was like, "Rodney, Sammy Davis, he travels the world, baby. He's a busy man. What do you expect?" And I'm like, "I want to give him a get well card." And my mom is like, "Oh no, come on, Rodney. How you expect me to get a card to Sammy Davis Jr.?" I'm like, "Give it to Dorothy. Dorothy can get it to him." And my mom was like, "Okay, Rodney, yeah, I'll try. I'll see." So sure enough, mom decides, I'm bugging my mom, the next few days after, "Mom, come on, we got to go get Sammy a get well card." So we make the trek to downtown Long Beach to Thrifty's, the good old Thrifty's pharmacy.
Yeah.
And of course, get my ice cream. Shout out to Thrifty's ice cream. And so we
what
get
kind of ice cream?
You know what? I always was I always like butter pecan, butter pecan, good stuff. So
good choice.
Yeah. So I end up getting the card and my little chicken scratch. I end up writing "Get Well soon, love, Rodney. And so I give it to mom. Mom gets it to my agent. Couple of weeks go by. We don't hear anything. And my mom was like, look, Rodney, don't count on getting a response. Sammy's all over the world. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm cool with it. Well, dun, da, 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 da. There you go, folks. Hand signed from Sammy Davis.
Wow.
It showed up. Here you go. And it reads, and I'll read it. It was dated April 22nd, 1974. Dear Rodney, hi, pal. I just wanted to thank you for the little note that you sent me telling me to feel better. Well, I do feel better, and I'm working again. It was very nice of you to think of me, and I hope that we will be able to see each other again soon. Peace and love, Sammy. And there it is. That's that hand signed from the one and only Sammy Davis Jr.
April 1974. Wow.
Yes,
one of the greatest entertainers that ever lived. That guy could do it all. He could do it all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those were the type of things. And so again, I can't say, a lot of times a lot of people I've run across different actors, people who've been in the industry, and some of them came away from it that did not have my experience. Again, I'm very thankful about everything that happened, the people I've met, the opportunities that I have had and still have to this very day, because my phone still rings. I'm still engaged with a lot of people.
Right.
And the best is yet to come, literally. And I just have to say that, I'm so thankful to have had that opportunity to have met the people, and Sammy and George Burns and so many other people. It's just, from old school. There he is. There's the man, George Burns.
Tell us about the meeting and working with George Burns.
I was in Oh God Book 2. I played the role of Charlie. And another great experience was working on Oh God Book 2. And when we actually shot that at Venice High School in Venice, California. And I'll never forget this. We're in the gymnasium, and the
George sends his love.
Hey, man,
you're looking good, Rodney. You haven't changed a bit.
Thank you, my man. We'll have a cigar someday, my man.
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. And Sam, and we're there, and George is actually, we were in the middle of filming, and one of the Panavision cameras went down. One of the big cameras goes down.
That's a problem.
And so they're trying to fix it. There's some problems. An hour's going by, and we're sitting in the gym. And so all of these young kids that were in the movie, I was one of them. We were waiting, but sitting all the way at the top of the bleachers in the gymnasium, all the way at the very top, was George Burns, just sitting there by himself. And so all the kids, we were hanging out, and they were laughing and cracking jokes and things. And I looked up and I was like, wow. I said, I never met George. I said, I want to meet him. So I kind of got up and I moved back one row, and I was talking to some other people, and moved back one row and talking. So now I'm behind everybody. And when no one was looking, I slowly get up and I tiptoe up the stairs. And I go up, and I just wanted to go up to meet him, literally. And I go up and I sit down, and I go, I just wanted to come and say a quick hello to you. And you're such a legend. And I know that you've been, and it was funny because he was playing God. So I thought it was just funny to kind of meet him in that aspect. And he said, sit down, kid. And I said, I introduced myself to him. He goes, I know who you are. He goes, you eat those hamburgers. And I was like, oh my God, George Burns knows me from the Jack in the Box commercial. So we end up talking, and he says, tell me, kid, what do you know about me? And I said, I know you love Gracie. And when I said that, he just stopped, and he was like, Gracie. He goes, you know about Gracie? I go, yeah. I said, I know that you guys were like this. And he was like, let me tell you. And next thing you know, an hour blows by, and he tells me how he started, how he met Gracie, and how they did the Chitlin circuit together and his comedy. And he told me, kid, I really don't smoke the cigars. I just puff on them. And I
Right.
asked him, I said, do you smoke those things? He goes,
Yeah.
no, I just puff on them. And I was like, really? And so we're talking, an hour's gone by. And one of the kids in the production turns around and sees me sitting up talking to George. And they were like, oh, there's Rodney. So when all the kids get up, now they're coming up here. And George stands up and he goes, okay, kids, I gotta go. And he stands up. And as the kids start coming up, he pats them on the head and he goes down the steps and out of the bleachers. But I had a one-on-one with George Burns for an hour.
You talk to God.
There you go, man. Can't get no better than that.
And faith has also been important in your life, instilled early, right? To get you through the not so good times, and to appreciate the good times and more, right? Very blessed and appreciative.
Most definitely. You know, I mean, you have to have some kind of root, and I mean, especially in entertainment, because it's a wild world. I mean, 1 minute you're on top, next minute you're out looking for work. And there's so many things, and there's the good, the bad, and the ugly, all kind of mixed into entertainment, music. And you have to have great values. You have to have great people around you. And again, I'm very thankful that I was raised in a home where, you know, honestly, you know, we didn't go to church every single Sunday. We didn't. I mean, but there was always that awareness of God and something much more bigger and greater than us. And you know, even when I was at the height of my career, mom was always there to just keep it real. She always kept it real, and so there was always the knowledge between good and bad and right and wrong. There wasn't too much of this gray business and, well, you can kind of fudge over here. Mom and my dad were pretty hardline people. And I'm thankful that, you know, I was able to be raised in a household with respect and you know, and a little bit of fear too, you know, because honestly, a lot of kids nowadays,
Yeah.
it's a respect kind of slash a little fear that you need to have. You kind of need to fear your parents a little bit, because if you
Right.
don't have that type of admiration and kind of, wow, that's mom, that's dad,
There are
you know,
consequences for actions,
yeah,
and
you
yeah.
gotta have that. And I think that I was raised in a household that I don't care. I could just walk off a TV set. If I did something stupid, trust me, mom would jack me up right there on the on the scene.
Yes.
But thank goodness, you know, I found out, it was really funny. I think I was like 8 years old. And one day I had gotten a whooping for something. And one day I was sitting there in my room and I'm mad. And I'm like, you know what? I said, how can I avoid this? And it dawned on me, Rodney, just listen to mama the first time. And I was thinking, like, you know what? I'm going to try that. I said, I'm going to try to listen to mama the first time. I'm not going to push it to the third, because the third time, that's when something terrible happened. You know, it just, you know, it got ugly at that point. But if mom said, hey, Rodney, do blah, blah, the second time she say, hey, I told you to, you know, on the second time, if you could get it on the second time, you're home free. So I learned at 8 years old, and it was that I remember wholeheartedly, that was the last time I ever had any problems. The
That is
last time of any type of correction, spanking, I didn't have nothing. It all stopped because I said, you know, if you listen to mama, you don't have to deal with this. And I did. And after that, that is the type of thing that carried me thus far in life. And matter of fact, you know, I lost my mom. I was a senior in high school. My mom passed away. God rest her soul. But she passed away. She passed away with cancer. And so, but she gave me and my family enough to carry us a lifetime. And so I remember, you know, literally being in the hospital with her, just me and her one-on-one. And my mom said to me, she said, you know, Rodney, you're going to go back to California, aren't you? And I said, yeah, mama. I said, I'm about to graduate and, I'm about to graduate, but in a couple of months, I said, but, you know, I got to make sure you're okay. And she said, you know what, Rodney, I'm going to be okay. And you're going to be okay. And my mom literally said, she goes, no matter what happens to me, you're going to be okay. And I was thinking like, huh, that was a pretty heavy statement. And sure enough, that was the talk. And so she, pretty much told me, and let me know that if in the event that she did not get better, there were expectations that she had for me. And so she said, look, didn't you say you want to go to California and go to college? I said, yeah. And so she said, look, your money's been set aside for you. It's in a trust. You're going to be able to go to college. Go out there and make something of yourself. And promise me one thing, that you'll be a good boy and you'll stay out of trouble. And that's what I did.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. And she's still with you. I'm sure you still feel her presence with you every day of your life, right?
Every day.
Yeah. She
Yep.
is still with you. That's a beautiful story, Rodney.
Yep.
Thanks for sharing that.
And again, and thank God, my dad's still with me. He's up in
Right.
age, and Pop is doing great. And and I said, I think Pop is 80. Pop is I got my brain is going crazy. 70, 80s. My dad is 70, 80. My brain, my Pop just had a birthday on February 3rd.
He's
Pop just had a
between
birthday.
somewhere
Yeah.
between 70 and 80.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I'm sitting here thinking, and I got to get home to see dear old dad. I got to go home to see him soon. But
Is he in North Carolina?
He's in North Carolina, and so again, Pop got a wonderful helpmate, and he got remarried after my mom passed, and the lady's been just wonderful, and Sylvia's been great, and so, and it's just everything has seemed to just keep trucking. Everything keeps trucking right along, and it's just amazing how it's all worked out.
And then look at this cute kid, Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
What was it like to have an opportunity to be in a movie like Blazing Saddles? Wow.
Aha! How you like that?
Uh-oh. Not only this cute kid photo, but look what he's got.
Da, 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 da. How you like that? There you go. This is one of the production slicks. There you go. Good old Blazing Saddles. And I actually had the pleasure of course, keeping my original here. How you like that? Good old Blazing Saddles. So, and I actually had the pleasure of meeting Mel Brooks a few years ago.
Oh,
and I told him, I said, you know what, Mel, if you ever do Blazing Saddles 2, I definitely want to play Sheriff Bart. And he was like, kid, I don't think I will ever be able to make that movie. And I'm like, do it. I don't care. Do it. I'm like, if he did it, I'm telling you, I would stand shoulder to shoulder with Mel Brooks. I tell you, we would do it together. I'm telling you, I wouldn't care.
What was it like being on set and being a part of such what is now a classic, legendary movie?
Hilarious, because seeing how they would have so many takes because they couldn't keep it together.
Right.
They had to burn so much film because everybody was like, and they how are you not gonna laugh in these scenes, and so, but I really believe, matter of fact, somebody asked me, what do you think about Blazing Saddles? And I said, look, if Mel Brooks decided to do Blazing Saddles 2, I would work with him. I would play Sheriff Bart and wouldn't even think nothing about it, because it needs to have a little bit of a message. I told him, I said, you should come out before the movie starts with a little trailer and say, hey, look, I'm Mel Brooks. I'm a legendary director, and just have a slideshow, Young Frankenstein and all these crazy things, and just say, hey, look, this is comedy. This is about, and Mel made fun of everybody. Nobody was saved. So no need for nobody to get their feelings hurt. Because he picked on everybody. It's comedy, people. And he should say, look, you have a chance. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna get a little bumpy, but it's gonna be fun. So stay here with me or go get a refund. And then the movie should start.
Right. I like that.
I'm serious. I mean, if you
Good idea.
Warning, you already been told he's gonna have fun, he's unplugged. But I don't know. So many people say, "Oh, that would never work," and so, but I wish you would, because I'm telling you, Mel, if you're out there, brother, and you want to do Blazing Saddles too, I'm your guy right here, Sheriff Bart. That's my role. Just letting you know, that's my role.
And craft services will be hamburgers for all.
Thank you. That's it.
That is funny. Another cool shot here too. What was happening there?
Wow, man. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm looking at some of the promo stuff. I got a button on. I probably was at a guest appearance somewhere. And see, this is the beautiful thing about the internet. You're finding promo pictures and things that I don't even have. That one I don't even have in my collection. I got a lot of cool stuff, but that's one I'm missing.
Yeah. That's a cool one. Tell us about the setting. What was happening here?
You know what? I'm telling you, more than likely, this probably was there at some point with Blazing Saddles on the set somewhere. I mean, these are the type of things that
you look so happy too. You look like this is really, I'm just having a ball. You look so happy.
I always had a ball. And I'm still having a ball till this very day. Even the people that I'm working with now and the projects and things that I have going on, again, like working with.
Tell us about that. You've got your hand. You and I were chatting on the phone, and you've got your hands. You're involved in so many different projects, so many different things. Even a radio station, I think, is it in the Reno area? Tell us about some of these cool things that you're doing today.
Well, the things that I'm trying to do is kind of wrap it around education. And so me and another colleague, we have a radio show that runs out of Reno, and it's on KFOI 1060 AM, and it's a radio show called Tea Time with Teen Day, and it's all about beautiful music. That's people like, when you start thinking about
Henry Mancini, Percy Faith,
yes, Percy
Bert
Faith,
Kaempfert, and
these are all the legends of beautiful music. It's music from the 1920s to the 2000s, and it's all big orchestra music. And so as we fight in school to keep band classes and instruments going, and with Prime Motivation that's over my shoulder, and Hidden Pioneers, we're fighting to keep the vocational classes open. Remember when you were in school and there were metal shop and wood shop and electronics and home ec? It's all gone. The young people don't have an opportunity. And sometimes think about this. What if you're not going to go to college, but what if you fell in love with home ec and being a cook? Now you're a head chef at a legendary hotel, or you start your own food product line or whatever. But these are the type of things that we're fighting for, to keep more young people inspired and engaged with. And again, with the Hidden Pioneers, we have a working relationship with NASA. Big shout out to an amazing electric car company called Lucid Motors, who sponsored the first Global Diversity Summit. We've got our second Global Diversity Summit coming up. That is 2022. We've already got a date set for it, Thursday the 24th, and it's going to run through Saturday the 26th. And that, and stay tuned for it. That is, the Hidden Pioneers. You can go to hiddenpioneers.com. And again, we're working with NASA. We want, and NASA, they blessed us with a 1-hour insertion into this year's show. We had over 247,000 viewers from around the world. We want educators, teachers, school districts to be able to tune into this, because we have top-notch people in STEM education, transportation, technology, and being involved in those type of things. That's how my colleague and I, we started the radio show. You can also go to facebook.com, Tea Time with Teen Day. Click in. You can listen to the show Monday through Saturday.
So you want to introduce it to a younger audience, that format of music. You and I were talking about on the phone. I'm very familiar and in touch and have been involved with that genre of music for a long time. I've been working for some of the stations, and that's incredible, huh?
Yeah. And honestly, as far as feature film work. I'm working on a project called Bucks of America. This is a new legendary film that's never been told. I'm really, really excited about this film. There's a gentleman here in LA. His name is Robert Gatewood, and he's a historian. He's a director, a filmmaker, and has put together a project called Bucks of America. A lot of people don't realize this, that during the Revolutionary War, there was a very pivotal fight at Bunker Hill, and there was a huge regiment of African-American soldiers that were at the head of the fight. And believe it or not, history has never really even told their story. And it's an amazing story that's going to come out, and it's going to be called Bucks of America. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I'm going to be hopefully one of the producers on the project, as well as one of the lead actors. So I'm looking forward to it. I think that there's so many great stories that are coming out that are inspirational and inspiring. And I think that between that and some of the other great people, I'm working with a gentleman, James Andrew. We have a show called Taylor Wars. I'm working on my own projects. We have a show called Hidden Garages. That's a part of the Hidden Pioneers group, because I'm in the whole automotive scene. I love cars. I've restored several classics myself. I still have a classic Corvette. And
you love the sound of a good exhaust note, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's all about that. And so I was just out yesterday. Actually, I was just out in El Segundo, California, at the Automotive Driving Museum.
You were telling me that, yeah.
Yeah, and because March is Women's History Month, they had a women's focused car show of custom car builders and women who had some really, really hot cars. They were all out there on display. And so big shout out to the, Automotive Driving Museum and girl power out there, showing it.
And I think I saw something somewhere where you met Jay Leno. Did you ever get a chance to see all his cars?
Yes, I have actually had the pleasure through my buddy Bill Montgomery to actually visit Jay Leno's garage. And literally that place is like NASA. Seriously, there are top secret areas that are off. You will not be going back there, because honestly, he's got top secret stuff back there. He's got stuff running on water, probably back there. Literally, he really does.
Yes,
because he's that guy, and
he's
so
totally into it. Yeah,
we respect that of him, and that's what we want to do with the hidden garages, or actually being able to go into these shops and to be able to see things that people have that are hidden away, and really be able to tell the story. So we're excited about that. And
you've even tapped into politics too along the way, huh? Did you run for mayor of Compton or something?
I did. I actually got involved with politics, and it's just the world that I'm in, because I know everybody from school districts to local city council members, the mayors and then what actually happened was I did run for mayor of Compton, and people, and the whole thing was, it was just that I think they weren't ready for me, because I had some serious plans that I was going to kind of initiate. And I think that, when you start talking about politics and like coming in and like kind of like sweeping up a little bit, they're like, hey, hold it now.
Yeah, right.
wait a minute. But the most important thing is, but I'm very supportive of everything that city and every city, because right now we have some serious issues around the world. How do we jumpstart America? How do we get the production companies back up, businesses, kids back in school? I'm actually also working with a gentleman who has something called disinfectant tunnels. An incredible, if you go to disinfectanttunnels.org, it'll blow you away. You know how you go into the airport and they scan you?
Yeah.
Well, Disinfectant Tunnels has actually a EPA and an FDA mist. You know how like when you're out at a restaurant and those misters are keeping you.
Yes. Yeah.
This tunnel has these type of misters, and when you go through it, it protects you from COVID. Pretty
Wow.
interesting stuff. So,
That's
there's some
cool.
white
Cutting
paper on it.
edge.
Yeah, very nichey. So I'm involved with some pretty cutting edge stuff between that and everything with, again, with transportation technology, education, with the music, with the beautiful music show. So I stay busy. I don't never sleep, literally. I mean, I do sleep, thank goodness, but I mean, when I get up, it's game on every day.
Right, exactly. And I think you've
Mhm.
always been like that in a positive way too. You're good to people, and you realize this all has been such and continues to be such a great blessing in your life, and you've appreciated all these moments and experiences and connections and everything that's come out of it. And I think that's
Mhm.
it's the best way to be. It's a beautiful way to live, Rodney.
Well, you got to enjoy life, and that's what I do. I like to eat well, and I like to have
Oh,
a
that I
sound
know.
mind.
I know
Yeah.
about the eating part.
Yes, that's
Chef
right.
Rodney with our friend
That's right.
Elaine and
Chef,
Oreo.
that's right. That's Elaine. And that's a friend of mine. That's Elaine
Yeah.
Ballard. She's
Yeah.
also a character actress.
Yes, she
And,
was on that show. Yeah, we love her.
and she has a book called, How to Write a Book Campy Lane Style.
Yes.
And it's really funny. I've worked with her on the project, and it's really great. And matter of fact, if you don't get it, if you haven't got a chance, you got to get a copy. And this is for older adults. There it is.
There it
How to
is.
Write a Book,
She sent me
Campy Lane Style.
she sent it. Yeah.
She did.
Yeah.
And
This is cool. Yeah.
that's me. That's me and Elaine and her little doggy Oreo. But I do like to cook, and I'm involved with, like I said, I love good food, and you got to eat healthy and keep your mind right, and big shout out to this little shirt. Here's a picture. Remember this from the Jack in the Box? How many people out there remember the old Jack? Well,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
kind of like a rendition shirt of my Jack in the Box shirt. So this is my own little signature thing. And a dear friend of mine, she was a tailor here in LA. Her name is Evelyn. Actually, she popped on earlier. So big shout out for my tailored shirt. So if anybody wants a Rodney Allen Rippy shirt, you can get one, here. So
Oh,
I'm
wow.
That's
cool.
looking at launching some my own product line on some things, and just really cool stuff. I think that there's nothing like today, and looking forward to a brighter tomorrow. So that's what it's all about.
Do
Yeah.
you see yourself going back into the thrust into acting, or is all this other phenomenal entrepreneurial work that you're doing really the thrust of what you want to do going forward? Is the acting as prevalent or prominent for you now as
It
it
is,
was?
well, listen, once you're an actor, you're always an actor. And
Right,
like
right.
I said, there are people that I look up to, you know, the there's so many actors that are out there, and I'm like, wow, I would love to be able to work with this person and that
Yeah,
person. And
yeah.
so, I want to focus more on content creation, maybe making my move as a director. I've actually got a feature film project called The Leather Mechanic that I want to put together. That may be my personal directorial debut. And so these are the things I'm working on. I have my autobiography that I'm penning. So I have to literally cut my day and try to keep focus. And sometimes my friends and contacts, they get uptight with me. They're like, I can't get you on the phone. I'm like, working. I'm working on something. I can't talk to you right now. Call me back in a couple hours. Click, and I'm like, because honestly, there's only so much time in the day.
Mhm.
But I'm very excited about all of these opportunities. I'm excited about where things are going now, and I think that between product development, you saw my album Take Life a Little Easier. Well, guess what? This is my prototype of my CD. And see, my beautiful album has never been released on CD. And a lot of parents don't have positive music for their children to listen to. I mean, come on, think about it. And I've literally, my hair stands up on my head. when you hear little kids singing some of these songs, and I'm like, do you even know what you're singing about? And I tell you, I'm just, it's a different age, different sign of the times and things like that. But I think that, you know, parents are, I think some parents are very, very mindful, and they're doing a great job by making sure that they keep their kids going down a positive direction. Because right now, I love tech, but there are certain things that have to be, there's a timing for everything. And I think that some young people have a little too much access to things. I mean, there's a little too much on these things, and you can get into some pretty gnarly stuff if you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
And I think that keeping your hands busy, getting out, being a kid, I mean, I remember being a kid and me and my buddies just riding bikes and playing basketball and getting out there. That's a difference. But when you're just kind of locked away in a room and gaming or chatting on the phone, and it's a little bit too much. You got to get out and put your feet in the grass and have a little fun.
Yeah. See, and that's one of the things that I think we were blessed growing up to have
Mhm.
access to. I mean,
Mhm.
the technology is fantastic. You just can't live on it 24/7. You can't let it, you have to dominate it, not let it dominate you.
Correct.
And that's a big difference, right?
That's correct. And I mean, you use it. I mean, we're very fortunate to have this technology in our era. It's great, but it can be too much sometimes, and if you don't watch it, it can literally eat you alive. And so I think that, through good people and making sure that you have time to just be a child, be normal, and just enjoy yourself, and not go into things that's beyond you. I remember just being a kid, like the pictures that you see here. Here's another great one right here. I like that. Some of you people might remember that good old Jet magazine. You know, these were the type of times. And check out that suit. Do you see those velvet lapels? That was my mom right there. That is the
You
type of
were
stuff that
styling then. Yes.
styling. And I
Yes.
think that
Yes.
those are the type of things that make life beautiful. And again, I have to say a couple of hellos to people. I got to say a big hello to two brothers. They're in Kansas, Mike and Mark Owens, two great guys. These guys are, it's funny. It's like when you're in the entertainment industry, it's people, your fans, your friends, and people who are looking out for you. These two guys are in Kansas. I ain't never met these guys, and they're constantly sending me leads, and they're like freaking PR firm, and I'm like,
For you,
guys,
right?
they was like, hey man, we love you. I'm like, you know what, dude, I love you too. Thank you for your support. And it's funny that you have people that the little things that we do mean so much to somebody else, and I appreciate them. I appreciate my friends. I appreciate my family. I appreciate people who remember me, and when I go places and stuff like that, and when I get love, I give love back. I really mean that. I really mean that.
Right, exactly. And that's the
Yeah.
key. That's what it's
Mhm.
all about. I mean, and having the opportunity to really appreciate it all.
Mhm.
And that's the beauty of, I think, the experience when you really let it soak in. You like to do projects too that inspire.
Mhm.
You're talking about some of that leave sort of a positive mark on people's lives and lift them up. Because I think,
Mhm.
you probably really feel that you've had all these wonderful opportunities and these blessings because you've had the love and support, guidance, mentorship,
Mhm.
uh, of those around you, from family to friends to colleagues to others, and even in the industry, which
Yep.
can be tough to get sometimes, but surrounded with some wonderful people who have been supportive of you and have lifted you and have kept you, going
Mhm.
all the way back to your parents initiating it. I
Mhm.
always say our parents are really our true executive producers because they produced us.
Yes. Yes, they are.
And they set
Yeah.
the tone. So you understand what it's all about. You really understand, the human condition and what life's all about. And I think
Yeah.
that's been it's translated beautifully into the things that you've chosen to do with your life and the projects that you're affiliated with, and whether
Thank
it's
you.
something comedic or dramatic
Yeah.
or just something that is poignant. It's all a reflection of the environment that you've had and the experiences you've had, but also a reflection of who Rodney Allen Rippy is.
Well, I have to tell you, I've been very blessed to have worked with some amazing organizations: American Cancer Society, Muscular Dystrophy, Special Olympics, all of these incredible organizations. You know, they're out there, they're fighting to raise funds and awareness for, you know, those who really really need it. And I'm so thankful that I've had the experience to get out to do public speaking, be master of ceremonies. I just, I love it. I eat it up because I'm like, hey, it's an opportunity to get out there and really network and meet some great people. And I mean, I'm very blessed to have been able to travel from coast to coast and around the world and meet people. And every day I literally, you know, I look at, you know, big shout out Hollywood Weekly magazine, here's another one right here, you know. And the whole, and the thing is right here, that's what it's all about. The best is yet to come. I really mean that, dear friends. Oh, and I have to say, boy, he jacked me up if I didn't talk about this too. I'm co-executive producer of the Country Soul Music Awards. A lot of people do not understand the genre of country soul. And when you start talking about country soul, you're talking about Ronnie Millsap, Winona Judd,
Oh
Jared
yeah.
Rucker, Lionel Richie. Um, you know, there's so many people. A lot of people didn't know that um, Ray Charles really was not a soul singer. He was country soul.
Country
And
soul.
so we want to honor. So we're working on a project. This has been a long time coming, and things are starting to finally point in the right direction for the project. We're excited about it. And, you know, we're telling people, hey, get ready. Follow us on Facebook, Country Soul Music Awards. There's a lot of great people that are getting lining up to work with us. And I'm very very excited about the project because now is the time for people. And really, when you start thinking about country soul, people didn't know that the Pointer Sisters won a country Grammy for their song Fairy Tale. If
That's
it
right.
wasn't for Lionel Richie, Kenny Rogers would have never had Lady because he gave him the song. And and you got people like Ronnie Millsap, a legend in country soul, and we just lost Charlie Pride. We were going to
Mm.
honor him, and hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we'll be able to pull the show off this year. And but there's a lot of great people we want to honor, a lot of great things that are on the verge of happening, and there's so many friends and you know, loved ones out there that I have in my life that I'm very thankful to have, you know, and have in my corner. People, there's Candy Jordan out in Tennessee, another sweet person in my life, and friends, and Tammy. There's another one, Tammy Locke. She was on the show, the Monroes. Remember
Oh
the
yeah.
Monroes?
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
gonna have to send Tammy your way.
I would
She'd be a
love it.
great, she'd be a great interview because, and she was a freaking roller derby queen. There's a bunch of crazy stuff, but I have friends, and I'm also part of the Child Star Syndicate. So there's a bunch of child stars in a kind of like a hidden way. We're in a private Facebook group, and a lot
Is
of
that the
cool
one
people.
with Paul Peterson, Stanley
Yes,
Livingston,
yes,
and protecting child stars and
yeah.
making sure that everything, you know, because a lot of times, sometimes the money management and other things went
Mhm.
awry and went wrong. That's a fantastic group, huh?
And I thank God that, like I said, you know, a lot of people have asked, well, did your parents do anything weird? I'm like, no, no, they didn't. Thank God for that. You know, and I had, you know, I have real parents, and they took care of me, and the dollars and things that I raised put me through college, and it has taken care of me thus far. And you know, and the
Do
fun
you
still continues, you
do
know.
you, do you think some of that too is attributed maybe to their upbringings as well in North Carolina and in the Midwest and Ohio, maybe some of the values and the just what was instilled into your parents. That's the way that they knew, that's the way that they wanted to live, and it passed down to you and the siblings in a beautiful way.
It did. And you know, I have to tell you, I've told so many stories about funny things that were said and done and happened in my household. For an example, my mom and dad were very real people. And you know how sometimes people can, or kids, or people in general, they can come up with a bad attitude and walk through the house, not talking to nobody, mad at the world. My mom would come straight out the gate. She'd be like, "Excuse me, why do you have your face frowned up? Something wrong? You mad about something?" I mean, she would not stop until she nipped it in the bud. She's like, "Oh, what's wrong with you? Why you walking around with your face like that?" I mean, and you would have to stop and explain what your problem is. And a lot of times, I think that being engaged in your child's life, being engaged in your siblings' lives and things like that, because I really think that, you know, and it breaks my heart. I'm telling you, it breaks my heart when you hear about legendary people dying and you go, didn't anybody see this stuff coming? Was anybody not here to be able to say, hey, hey, man, what are you doing? Hey, ease back on that a little bit, because I'm thinking like, and I mean, when I think about so many greats, I'm going, how, who, in my brain is going, who's going to replace these people when they're gone? How are you going to replace the princes of the world? How do you replace these people? I'm like, you don't. And I'm like, so so I have to start. I start with me. And
The Whitney Houstons, people like that.
And it starts with me. And I go, you know what, Rodney? It's got to start with me. You got to be your own example. And I'm like, you know, I like a good time. I love fast cars, pretty women, and everything, but you can't let it get you in trouble. You can't. And you can't allow anything to kill you, literally kill you, kill your spirit, kill your creativity, kill your looks, kill your health. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And you just have to say, there's certain things that you just have to go, ain't going to happen. And honestly, I thank God that I've been able to go through the industry through these years. And trust me, I've seen it all. I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to work for me. And just like I've told people, they've asked me, well, Rodney, how did you avoid drugs and all this other stuff? I said, I never seen it work for anybody. I never seen it make them richer, more beautiful, more intelligent, because they start getting loopy. And you know, you talk to people who've done drugs. If you just talk to somebody, you go, my goodness, this person's mind is slipping. I mean, and you go, wow. And you know, I'm like, do you want that for yourself, Rodney? I'm like, no. And I'm like, so there's plenty of other things to do. There's creative things. There's so many things to get involved with. There's charities. There help the homeless, help senior citizens, and to pick a cause and just immerse yourself in it. If you don't, you know, because some people just have too much time on their hands. Me personally, I have to say honestly, I wish I had free time. I really do, but I don't. You know, and I'm thankful for people like you, Mr. Masters. I'm thankful for great programming, great interview shows, great hosts like that. Like, and I mean, and look, you're not politics. Have we said anything about politics? No. And a lot of times, and people have asked me, well, Rodney, who you voting for? Bugs Bunny. That's who I'm voting for. Don't ask me. It's none of your business who I'm voting for. The point is, I voted. That's the
voted.
Point. I'm going to vote, and you vote. That's the point.
He votes for the hamburgers.
I'm voting for
That's what he votes for.
That's right. I'm voting for burgers and good times and good health and exercise and a lot of water. Drink your water. You know.
Absolutely. And you got a nice little studio set up there too.
Thank you, brother.
Cool. Yeah, I love it.
It's here. I'm set, man. I'm jamming here. I'm getting ready for my I'm thinking about the Rodney Allen Rippy show. I'm trying to get my name right, but I'm definitely, and I want to interview people just like you. I look up to you, Mr. Master. You're the captain. I love your production quality. I salute you, my friend. I want to be just like you because you got a tight show, and that's what you have to have. You have to have a meaningful show that people love and follow. Look at all your followers from around the world. You're doing it right, man. Keep up the great work. And I thank you for giving me an opportunity to be on with you. I really mean that.
It was my total pleasure, my friend. Absolutely. And I can't wait till whether you're on the East Coast or I'm on the West on a TV shoot or something, us getting together and breaking bread. That would be superb. I would love to do that. What are some of the blessings and joys that continue to motivate and inspire you to keep trucking on, like you said, to keep creating and connecting and collaborating and doing more of what you do so well?
Well, you know what motivates me is knowing that there's more work to do, knowing that I am just scratching the surface. And like I said, I go out with colleagues of mine. I love photography. I love shooting. I'm starting to edit video, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, Rodney, you know what, sir? When you get ready to direct your movie, brother, you need to be able to. And a lot of times, of course, I'm not trying to get off and be the one man band and do everything, but you need to have an understanding and entertainment about a lot of things, because if you're coming up with a workflow, you need to understand what you need to do to make this next person's job correct and what they need to do. And that's how you get a real good wraparound in the production and a high quality outcome. It's all about quality content quality people working on the project, honesty, dedication. And then at the end is the wrap party. That's when everybody can celebrate because the job has been done correctly. And a lot of people don't, some from the people out there that don't know what a wrap party is. A wrap party is when a production is over, whatever budget's left, they have a great party, and they feed the production and the crew, and they broadcast the film or the TV show, and you get to see what your hard work went into. And so that's what it's all about. I mean, and having that type of family bond. And I'm a type of real kind of guy. A lot of people know me. I'm the type of guy I can walk a red carpet tonight. Tomorrow I'll be out changing my oil on my car. No big deal.
That's right. That's right. You're centered and balanced and grounded. And that's really, really important because, life can be crazy and topsy-turvy and upside down and bring so many, unusual, as we've seen in the last year, things our way. I just wanted to show you a couple of really beautiful things that are being said here from our Loverty viewers around the world. Now that you're a Loverty here, Rodney, you touch my heart. I just want to hug you so tight. From Maureen in Arizona. And Juanita in South Africa. Jim brings us all the best people. Juanita, thank you very much, Juanita. Merlin says, yes, he does. She's in Canada. Gary says, Loverty, Ronnie. Thank you, Rodney. Thank you for spending your evening with us. That's great. Loverty, Rodney. I love that. And that's what you are. EU, she says, Rodney, wishing you health, prosperity, and the realization of your projects with your creative talent. Mary Bishop says, so nice to have met you, Rodney. You are such an inspiration. God bless you. That's Mary in Florida, and also in Florida. Thank you, Rodney, for sharing so much of yourself with us and for caring so much for your fellow man. Crystal in Connecticut, she says, thank you, Rodney, for your openness, honesty, positive attitude. Continue with your phenomenal career. God bless you. And Jennifer Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania says, Jim, bring Rodney back. Love him. Oh, well, the door is always open. The porch light is always open for Rodney.
Love it.
And Amy says, you have a beautiful spirit. Thank you for sharing with us today. From Amy, Renee in Iowa says, thank you so much, Rodney, for coming on the show tonight and talking to us. Was really looking forward to meeting you as well. Just some of the Loverty. And Merlin's saying, let's see the chair. Well, here you go, Merlin. Look at that chair.
Yeah.
There
How
you
you
go,
like
Merlin.
that?
That's
Yeah, that's my
that's what you call a nice chair.
yeah, that's my race chair. You know, I am a guy. I love auto sports, and so I've been big into that. And you know, and I got it from my dad because my dad was the type of guy that was always building cars and doing cool projects, and I love it. So I'm a hot rod guy, and that's what it's
Yeah.
all about. It keeps me out of trouble.
Do you have a couple of favorite cars?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've restored two 1968 Mustangs, two
Did you?
1968 Camaros, and I
Wow.
currently have a 1971 Corvette. So I
Oh
have a
boy.
mean little
Yeah.
Corvette, but I'm now working with my buddy Bill, and we're really hoping to be able to get a couple of promo cars from you know, for Lucid Motors. These cars have 1,000 horsepower
A
and a 500
thousand
mile 1,000 horsepower with a 500-mile range. And trust,
Wow.
they are so gorgeous. They're the most beautiful cars on the road. If you get a chance after the interview, folks, go to
Yeah, yeah.
lucidmotors.com. They're incredible. And they also care about the kids. They actually sponsored the first Global Diversity Summit. So shout out to them for caring for kids and for recruiting new talent. And they're trying to encourage young people to, hey, get at those books, get involved with STEM.
That is absolutely incredible. Again, you're involved in so many phenomenal things. And when you look back at some of these incredible situations that you've
Mhm.
had and continue to have, what comes to mind, Rodney, for you? Not that you're summing everything up because you're
Mhm.
still out there doing
Mhm.
incredible work, but when you look at the body of it and experiences that you probably could never have even have dreamt up yourself, but with the love and the support of family and everybody around you, what are some of those things that come to mind for you, my friend?
Hey, I'm really thankful. I'm really thankful. I'm thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my you know, people who care enough. You know, a lot of times in the entertainment industry, you are only as relevant as your fans and your followers. When you get to the point where people just like, I don't care about that guy, you've screwed up. When when people don't care about you, yeah, you done screwed up. And so I try my best not to screw up. I try not to be that guy. And I really pride myself on being a person that I tell you, I go to sleep very well every night because I make sure that I don't go through life tripping other people, messing up other people, harming other people, you know, talking down to other people. That's not my thing. I want to uplift anybody that's in my circle. And when I walk away from people or whenever I'm in their presence, I don't want people going, ooh, I feel like I need to take a bath after hanging out with that guy.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, because I've been around some people and just listening to their language, hearing what's in their mind or their heart or their spirit. I'm like, wow. I'm like, gotta go, you know,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's you know, you have to do that.
Right,
You have to
exactly.
stay with good people, like-minded people, and people who really believe in love, togetherness, uplifting, and making, you know, a brighter tomorrow, you know.
What have you learned about yourself through everything that we've gone through in the last year or so with all of the things that we've experienced?
What I came away from this whole pandemic is the fact that you better be thankful because it can happen. I have had friends who've lost people. And I prayed. I'm like, and you know, I'm out. Like I said, yesterday I was out. I had a mask on. You know, I tried to keep my distance and stuff. You can't just lock yourself into a closet. But I'm so thankful that I'm like, Rodney, be thankful. Never take this stuff for granted. And my heart goes out to any family who have lost a loved one. I have friends who've struggled with COVID who got sick and recovered.
Yeah.
I had a dear friend, Tatiana in LA. Poor thing, she came down with COVID. Her two kids came down with it, and I in the same house. And I was
Mm,
like, wow. But thank
yeah.
God, all recovered. So, you know, we've got to take care of ourselves. We've got to, you know, eat well, rest, And the thing that I came away with is be thankful and don't take this for granted, because there's a lot of work to do. And not only looking at health and all this other stuff, I looked at what happened at the Capitol, and I go, this is America, people. We got to be working together. The whole rest of the world is watching. I'm like, are you kidding me? We shouldn't be doing this. We need to have some serious communication that things don't get that far out of whack, because that was crazy.
That was scary stuff. Yeah.
It was really scary. But I'm saying, going forward, I think we've all learned something. We've all learned something from it. And if nothing else, the doggone Capitol and the whole legislator need to know our Capitol buildings and things need to be a little bit more secure. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I think, and the people and the people need to be aware to stand down, to go and attack our head. I mean, that's like you cut the head off a chicken. What's going to happen? It's going to run around like something crazy. So I don't think we need to be messing with the head like that. I think we need to get everything together,
unify.
Make sure everything's working and keep pressing forward.
Absolutely. And you've done that throughout your life with that positive attitude and the inspiring way that you've done everything, my friend. And this was truly a blessing and honor, and would absolutely love to have you back. You're welcome back. Keep me posted on all the cool things that are happening. You and I will stay connected and chat. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Rodney.
Listen, I've been interviewed by the best, and you're right up there at the top, man. You're right there. Great interview. Thank you for having me on, and I would love to come back again real soon. God bless you. Take care. All the lovelies out there, take care of yourself. Jim loves you, man, and it's amazing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend. You're the best. You really, really are. You stay well. You take care. And thanks for gracing our presence with your wit and wisdom and talent tonight.
Best is yet to come. See you soon, everybody.
All right, Rodney, you take care. We're all going out for hamburgers tonight.
Hey,
Jack in the Box.
Hey, sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
That's so I tell you. Kathleen says, stay safe, Rodney. Kathleen in New York City, and Renee in Iowa says, God bless you too, Rodney. Wow. And EU says, always, Jim. Thank you. I appreciate that. Evelyn and Maureen in Arizona. God bless you, Rodney. Keep shining. And thank you from Merlin in Ontario, Canada. And boy, this is really fantastic. Juanita's still up with us late it's already tomorrow in South Africa. Thank you, Rodney, for sharing your life.
I want to come to Africa.
Yeah, she's right there in South Africa. She says, thank you for Rodney for sharing your life and wonderful values with us. Great stories as well. Really, really beautiful. Elaine says, great show. Thank you, Elaine. Rodney and I both love you, and we will see you soon as well. Can you spin it on your finger like the guys?
Hey, let me see if I can get a spin in. Here we go. There we go. How you like that? I did get it.
Meadowlark Lemon.
There you go.
There he is. There's Meadowlark.
That's right. Yeah. And I did at Meadowlark, and all the guys, they're just incredible. So I'm hoping to reconnect with them and to be able to do some things with Harlem Globetrotters and do a little tie-in with the Hidden Pioneers. So fingers crossed, everybody. Fingers crossed.
Absolutely. And that song they should bring back, because it makes you feel good, and the world needs that.
Here it is. That's what we need. We need nothing but good times, and the best is gonna happen. I think that as long as good people want to do good things, we need all the good people to get out there and let it shine. Let's get America back jump started again. Get these schools open. Everybody be health conscious. Make sure we stay very close and look out for one another. And again, for the Asian American community, hey, God bless you. Stay strong, and everybody, and not only just the Asian community, every community that's being challenged. Yeah. We're all one. We're all humans. We're all one.
That's what I say all the time. Everybody.
Where's my buddy? Well, actually, another buddy of mine from Love All Humans.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
another dear friend. As another dear friend out of Vegas, Love All Humans, great stuff. And we'll keep everything rolling. Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, compassion, empathy, everybody, welcome to the table. We should all be united. We are one. We all bleed red. And a world devoid of empathy, compassion, and love is a very empty world. And we need to make that paramount. And I think this has been a teachable moment. I was saying what happened in this last 12 months or so was the meeting of the divine, planet Earth, and Mother Nature coming together and saying, stop, enough. So we're going to throw all these major things we've had to deal with together. We're going to throw all these things at you humans to see how you deal with it. And are you going to come out of it more loving, more empathetic, more compassionate? So the divine, Mother Nature, and the earth said, okay, stop. This is you guys are getting out of control. And we're going to give you the pandemic, the economy, the civil unrest, as well as the political craziness. And we want you to work through all of this. And we want you to come out better for it and help one another and be empathetic. And that's what I hope, rising out of the ashes of it all, that's what I hope happens for us all, because there's been a lot of teachable moments during all of this,
Very, very much so. Very much so. And we're at this point, we're going beyond. Again, big shout out to NASA for all that they're doing. The Artemis Project. The young people out there need to know.
Incredible.
Really quick, do you know NASA has internships for young kids, and all you need is a 2.9 average? 2.9.
I realize
and you can get involved. Yes. So young people need to know that there are great opportunities out there. Make sure that they get out there, to go to the NASA websites, learn about the internships. And again, everything that's happening, they are looking for new talent. Again, great car company, Lucid Motors, they're looking for great people. And all of these huge companies, the art design, the Pasadena School of Design, great education opportunities. We just have to get motivated, get the young people motivated. And again, keep making America great. That's what we're doing. We've always been great, but it's time to get back to work and to be able to really make some great things happen.
Time to build back better. That's
right.
it. All right. Well, high five on that, my friend.
You got it, my friend. You got it.
All right, Rodney, you're a blessing and you're the best. You take care, and thanks for all of the time. We really appreciate it. And I really hope we get a chance to chat again. You stay healthy, stay well, blessings to your family. And thanks for coming on the show, my friend, and spending this time with us.
And to yours as well. God bless, man. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you, Rodney. Take care. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye, man.
Rodney Allen Rippy here on the Jim Master Show Live. I think you got an opportunity to really learn about the man behind all of the images that you've seen over the years. And I think it's a blessing when we have an opportunity here on the Jim Master Show Live, which again is sort of like the old school talk shows, the Dick Cavett, where you spend some time with the guest. We spend some time with our viewers, the Lovities, and with myself, your host, Jim Masters. And we all come together equally on the same plane, same footing, to share, to converse, to learn, to laugh and have a good time with inspiring conversations and entertainment. And here's somebody again that is really a treasure for so many years in American pop culture. When you think about it, really all the way back from age 3 in the Jack in the Box commercials that just launched this wonderful breadth of work, and not just doing it, for the entertainment value. Obviously, you can hear he's very supportive of people and organizations that give back and that lift others up. And I'm very much that way. And that's why when he and I had an epic conversation on the phone not that long ago, before we even put this episode together with Rodney, and we were just like kindred spirits, just understanding the human condition and family and life and love and do the right thing and help others and inspire. And all of that is so important. And I think if we all did that, how wonderful things would be. People sometimes they say, oh, I just want to press the easy button. Well, sometimes the best way to press the easy button is to come together and work through things and to to collaborate and create and motivate and inspire. That's so incredibly important. And here he's got this body of work where he could have just focused and stayed focused just on the, the bling and blitz side of things that you always see, the glamour and glitz side of everything. But he's got much more of a mission that goes even beyond that. And I think that that's really, really cool stuff. And as some of you have said during the course of the conversation, starting all the way back to those Jack in the Box commercials, he's had an opportunity to really work on some amazing projects, and the record, and of course the Rodney doll, and so many cool things. But meet and work with extraordinary people and have great respect for their talent, great respect for what they bring to the table as well. And I think that is really the test of somebody who is who understands really what life is all about, not just what we see presented to us, in the entertaining form that television and movies and film. And working in this world myself, I realized that you have to also be a real person and be authentic as much as you are when you are doing your thing. And I think that's one of the things about Rodney, which I like. And I think this is where I'm a kindred spirit. The Jim you see right now talking to on this show and on my professional work in television radio is the same Jim. The Rodney that you've seen in the commercials and the movies and the TV shows and everywhere else is the same Rodney you just saw tonight. But maybe you got a chance to learn a little bit more, and it's added a different dimension and appreciation for who Rodney Allen Rippy, the person, is. Not just the talent, not just the actor or the person that is out there, but also the person as well. So I think that is really, really what's amazing. Hidden Pioneers, you can find it. All of the episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live are on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. So subscribe to the channel too. We would love it. Click the notification bell so you don't miss any of it. We have over 300 episodes of our series there. And thanks for tuning in, Hidden Pioneers. We love it. Crystal says, good night, Jim and everyone. Thank you for another epic show. My pleasure. And you are in Connecticut. You have a good night, Crystal. Another amazing guest, Jim. Just enjoy how overall lovely all of them are. So uplifting. Thank you, Juanita. Hidden Power says, you did well, my friend. We thank you very, very much. Rodney thanks you as well. Another wonderful show. Good night, everyone. Take care. Mayor Bishop in Florida. Renee says, great show. Love these uplifting shows. Thank you, Jim, for all you do. Thank you, Gary, as well. I really appreciate those wonderful words. You guys are amazing. Again, all of your wonderful comments here and all the love that you share. It's Kathleen in New York City says, very cool, great show. I'm sure it brought back great memories for you as well. And now when you see Rodney in things, whether it's, re-airs of movies or TV shows or commercials or what have you, or any of his new material, you'll have a different, deeper appreciation of who he is. Not just the personality, not just the actor, not just the talent. And I think that's one of the things this show does, is through the time that we spend with everybody and with all of you and with our guests, we get a chance to really share with you in unison with our viewers and myself and our guests. We all open up about our lives in a way that brings us all together. We're not all in the same room, but it certainly seems like we are, doesn't it? And that's one of the things I love doing in my work here on this show and all the work I've done over the years. So again, we thank the wonderful Rodney Allen Rippy for joining us here on the show. You can check him out again online and elsewhere. And of course, there he is with our dear friend Elaine Ballas. And there's Oreo. We love Elaine as well. And again, this was really cool. This was really a lot of fun, and we thank him so very, very much. Tomorrow, we've got an actress, Emily Ray, joining us. Tomorrow, our show is at a special time, 8 p.m. Eastern, as opposed to our 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. It's 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with actress Emily Ray. Tuesday, an incredible electroacoustic violist and composer Martha Mook is with us. She's going to play live. She is here on Tuesday. That's going to be absolutely amazing Want to let you know also on Friday, we have Stan Goldman. Stan Goldman is a legal expert, on-air correspondent. He was involved and he covered the Michael Jackson trial. He covered the O.J. Simpson trial. He's covered, as a reporter and a correspondent, a host of different major legal aspects of society. And he's amazing. He wrote a very special book as well. On Saturday, we've got an extraordinary guest as well. This is George Chakiris. George is an Academy Award-winning and Golden Globe Award-winning actor, and he was one of the stars of course, West Side Story, and also he was in White Christmas, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. What wasn't he in? There's no business like show business. There he is accepting the Academy Award. He is with us coming up on Saturday. That's going to be cool. Also next weekend, we have Martha Bolton. Martha Bolton's going to be here. She, along with Bob Hope's daughter, Linda, wrote this book, Dear Bob. Bob Hope's wartime correspondence with the GIs of World War II. Of course, you know, Bob was instrumental in providing entertainment and connection back home with all of the GIs during World War II with his radio show and his in-person shows overseas. They wrote this incredible book with correspondence and memories and messages and photos, and she's going to be here as well. Dee Wallace is joining us very soon. Of course, another Hollywood legend, epic talent, movies, television, stage. What has she not done? Of course, Extraterrestrial, E.T. Yeah, she was in that. She was in Police Woman and the Streets of San Francisco, Touched by an Angel, Murder, She Wrote, The Howling, The Hills Have Eyes. She's coming soon here on the show as well. And just really, really extraordinary. So we thank Rodney Allen Rippy for joining us here on the show. And of course, we do say here on the show, don't forget to smile, everybody. Don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the lovity. That's very important to do that. Don't forget to find your Zen place. You know, here on the East Coast in the Northeastern United States, the ocean has always been a go-to Zen place for me. Love the ocean. Swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing it, walking it, floating in it, whatever it may be. That's a Zen place for me because the ocean is larger than me, and I pay all respect to the ocean. It breathes life. It's one of those constants in life. No matter what goes on in our daily lives, the ocean is always there with the tide coming in and out, 10,000 years, and it'll do it well beyond any of us being here. So when things get crazy, surround yourself with some of those important constants in life. And of course, love all of my work in television and radio and stage, on air, behind the scenes, on air, on camera, whatever it may be. That's another Zen place, and that's another blessing for me as well. So find the things in your life that are a blessing. You can find the Jim Masters Show live daily here at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And we love having you here. All of the shows are archived on our YouTube channel as well. We always say, too, don't forget, very important to relax, to love one another, to breathe through the diaphragm. It's so important to do that, and to love yourself. If you sometimes have a day where you don't feel valuable or worthy, or maybe just the outside world told you you're not of any value, forget about all that. We are all here for a reason. We are all of great value. We have something to give, something to say, something to offer. And on this show, we say relax. We always say chill, relax, take time for yourself and for those you care about, and to breathe. And on the show, everybody is welcome, regardless of zip code, income, religious views, political views, height, weight. It doesn't matter. Everybody's welcome to the show. So a couple more comments here, and then we'll get ready to wrap up. We'll be back tomorrow live. And I thank you very, very much for being with us tonight. Wonderful Gary in Iowa says, good night, Jim, and all lovities. Yes, you too, Gary in Iowa, also in Iowa, USA. Good night, everyone, from Renee. Juanita in South Africa says, good times on the show again. Have a great night, everyone. You as well. Get some sleep there, Juanita. I know it's late where you are in South Africa. In Arizona, one of the great healthcare providers, Maureen, who always rushes home from the medical facility to make sure she never misses an episode of our show. And that's real dedication. That's Lovity. Good Sunday night, everyone. Sweet be your dreams. Absolutely, Maureen. And in Wozniak in Jacksonville, Florida area says, good night, Jim and everyone. This was a great show. Thank you, Jim, for making this amazing shows possible. That is my blessing and that is my treat. As long as you guys are here, we'll keep doing this. Kathleen Walker says, have a great night, Jim. Lovity hugs. Good night, all. Stay safe. You too as well. And Jim, this was such an inspirational evening with Rodney. Amazing stories with legends, super opportunities, career, and love. How grateful he is for everything and how he gives back. Absolutely. Having great values. You got it. I agree 110%, Christine, and it was a pleasure having you here. And Hidden Pioneers, thank you for joining us as well. Hope you'll stop by again soon to enjoy more of the levity and the inspiring conversations and entertainment we have here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Gang, we love you all. Thanks for being with us on this episode. Hope to see you again real soon. We're here daily with our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Again, tomorrow, a special time will be at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That's when our guest will be here. Actress Emily Ray. You're going to love her. She's a young budding talent and she's amazing. Great show, Jim. Good night, lovelies, from Amy, our brilliant poet. Thank you very much, Amy. You have a wonderful night as well. And you stay safe and be well and stay healthy. This is your host, Jim Masters. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time on the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll catch you on the next one, okay? You have a great day, night, morning, whenever it is you're watching this episode, whether it's live or in the archives at Jim Masters TV. We love you all. Have a good night. Thanks for being with us. Bye-bye.